Okay.
How old were you when JFK was assassinated? And what was your life like during his presidency? And what did you think of him as a leader?
I was 27 years old. I think he did a pretty good job. It always seemed young and fun, and everything seemed to be okay. You know, he did take care of his presidency business that he had to. He spoke to many other people that were in charge of their company, not companies, but in their work.
Where were you and what were you doing when you heard about the assassination?
I was home with 2 children living in Franklin, Mass. I heard it on the radio, then I quickly turned on TV to see what was going on, and it was just massive. Nobody knew what was going on. Something bad was going on with the president. He had gone to Texas thinking that that was the place that he should go at this time. He probably had some issues maybe with somebody else that lived and worked in Texas. So he wanted to go down, talk to different people. He had a plan set up. His wife decided to go with him and thought it was a good time to just go down and people can see both of them. And once they did see the president and his wife, they stopped the limousine and they got out and they went and shook hands with people. People were just so happy to see them because they were a young couple, kind of, and then they got back in the car.
What was going through your head in that moment? Were you with anybody else? And if so, what was their reaction?
Can I ask you what you were talking about first? What was that
At
number?
the assassination.
Okay, all right.
2.
Okay. All right. I thought you were skipping around. Sorry.
No.
Okay. It was all just unbelievable. I was alone with 2 children. I thought that they were too young to understand too much of what was going on. They kind of decided, yeah, okay, like kids, and then go play somewhere, and then keep asking me why I'm still watching TV. So, I guess I could go to the next line here, and I called my husband, who was at work, and just kind of discussed, like, you know, who could do such a thing? Who was it? And please, are you coming home? And he said, yes, he was coming home. They were let go, and he was coming home.
What was the media's response to the assassination, and in what ways did you keep yourself updated with the events surrounding the assassination?
Well, I think everyone was overwhelmed, wondering why it happened, where it happened, who did it. Because it was just like one of the worst things you could imagine coming on TV. The president's been killed, just like that. And it was just so sad. Just so sad. That's all. People were crying and everything.
Do you remember any interviews of people who witnessed the event? If so, what was their basic opinion of the event?
Well, there were so many trying to get all the news, to get it. They were really working at trying to get news. First time anything like this came on TV, as far as I knew, and it just took a while to find out what did happen, how did it happen, where, and with who. What, and do we know who killed him? Do we know who killed him?
What did you tell your children, and how did they react?
Well, they were, I tried to tell them something, but I didn't want to go too deep into it, because like it says here, one of them was 5.5, and the other one was 2.5. So and that 2.5 was your father, Scott, and my daughter Deanne, and I tried to give them something, and then they just kind of like went and played, and that was about it. They weren't too concerned about that.
How did you react when Jack Ruby shot Lee Harvey Oswald?
Well, again, there is a picture in that book. They had caught Oswald. They were leading him down, and Jack Ruby just stood up and shot him in front of a whole bunch of people. And it's just craziness. It's overwhelming.
Do you believe that Lee Harvey Oswald was the lone assassin, and did you expect others were involved?
Yes, but not at that moment. Only later. And I just thought one person, when you begin to think a little bit more, how could one person just come and do this? Why? And why? Just come and shoot this guy, and he was up on a building looking out of the window. Everyone had left that building. Someone had not sent all the people out, and he was still up. He was still there looking out the window, and he aimed and he shot him in the back of the head, and that was it. That was it. They could not bring him back.
What is your opinion on the conspiracy theories involving the assassination of JFK?
I'm sorry, say that again?
What is your opinion on the conspiracy theories involving the assassination of JFK?
I think most everybody had an idea that other people were involved. It just felt like it took more than one person to think this thing up and plan it. I guess that's about all I can say right there.
Did you watch the funeral on TV? If so, describe the experience. Were many people excused from work to watch the funeral?
Yes, we did. It was very sad watching his wife and children and the rest of his family. It was done beautifully, but it was still sad. I would think most everybody watched the funeral. And it was just a very sad situation for the whole family. He had not even had his 4 years in there yet. And, I mean, it was just all over. And not his fault. Somebody decided they were going to kill him. And they did.
How did society change in the days following the assassination?
It was a very sad time. Wondered what happened and why. Why did it happen? Don't know. Why would someone have a reason?
What were your feelings towards Lyndon B. Johnson
Oh, Lyndon.
Lyndon B. Johnson when he was sworn in?
He was on the plane with them, but obviously he had not expected it. He was the vice president. He didn't expect it at all. He was the president so quickly, but I think he did a pretty good job. I mean, they were on the plane, and they swore him in, and I mean, it had to get done. It had to get done. And then we had another vice president, whose name was Connolly, but you know, you just have to keep things moving when it's something like that. You have to have a president.
How did Lyndon B. Johnson handle the public's anxiety and grief once he was sworn in?
I think he did the best he could. It was just so quick. He was Texan, and he had a way of using his Texas speech to make people feel good, if you can, during something like that. I mean, he would go back to the Texan talk to people. I mean, he was doing the best he could do, because everybody was so overwhelmed.
During the campaign and election involving JFK, who did you vote for? Who did your husband vote for?
Both of us, JFK.
Was there a sense of unity among Americans after this tragic event?
Yes. People connected with others to discuss what and how it happened. Whoever you meet on the street for weeks, that would be the talk. The talk. I mean, whoever saw a president shot like that, a young man like that, what had he done? Nothing. To bring that on, he and his family. Yeah.
Do you believe this could have been prevented?
I said here, I answered kind of yes, because after we realized that Oswald had planned to kill JFK, if someone could have been there to make sure everybody had cleared out of the whole place, which was what they were supposed to do, clear everybody out of that building, somebody might have stopped him, but probably not, because he had it planned. He had put boxes in front so he couldn't be seen out the window, and everybody was just so anxious to go out and see the president and his wife and whatnot. So, I mean, if someone had been able to make sure that everybody had cleared the building, in fact, one of the policemen went back and said something about, you've cleared the building? Oh yes, we cleared the building. But obviously, no.
How long did it take for things to feel like they were back to normal again?
Let's see, would this be? Okay, the assassination was something we had not seen before. It took us all a long time to get back to normal. I think we were enjoying our friendly president and family, thinking that he was doing a good job, but it just didn't last too long.
Have your feelings and opinion about this event changed over the years?
I guess I kind of felt, obviously, if someone killed him, that he shouldn't have been our president. And Oswald then took care of it. I mean, maybe somebody had passed on something to him to take care of it. Don't know that part. But and then Jack Ruby killed Oswald right in front of all the people. So obviously he was going to jail. But the whole situation was overwhelming and very sad. And I don't know why certain things happened. I mean, he had planned, he knew where they were going to come through the city of Texas, and he made sure he stayed behind, and he was going to shoot the president, and he did.
Thank you.
So what do you think?
Good.